Hey everybody, your boy Hebro77 here, and boy, I couldn't find a decent hat to wear, so I put on this. I guess you would call them beanies. Now I don't know why they call them beanies. Back in my day, we used to call these sock toboggans, or sock hats, but now you guys are calling them beanies. But anyway, about a year and a half ago, I did a chili cooking video, but it was how to cook quick chili. In other words, if you just wanted something real quick and you didn't want to take a whole lot of time maybe doing dishes and slowly cooking the meat and the sauce and blah blah blah, that was a quick video. And that was mostly stuff that was coming straight out of cans. There will be a lot of can usage in this video as well. But we're going to I'm going to show you how I cook my meat, or prep my meat for my chili. And we're going to do that right now. So this is the slow cooking method of making chili, or as other people like to say, the correct method. So here we go. Some of your major ingredients here. Of course, I really need to pour out that Miller Lite. We got some Miller Lite here. Beer is always essential to cooking chili. And we got some ground beef. This is ground beef that was it's pork and beef mixed. We got some chopped onions here. There we go. We'll get that out. So here's some of your main ingredients. This was grounded up. My grandpa grounded this up. He used to be a butcher. So there you go. He mixed it all up and grounded it off of tenderloin, pork tenderloin, and then some beef. He added beef. So we get in here and we get these hot peppers out. I've got a mixture here. There's habanero, there's jalapeno, there's chili peppers. There's all kinds of different peppers there. So that's another ingredient that we're going to cook all together here. And of course later I'll show you all the like salsa and blah blah blah. So we have chili powder, Cajun seasoning, and I'm going to put a little spin on this, and we'll do a little bit of garlic salt. We'll cook that with the meat. So I got my skillet down, and as always, I like to use a little non-stick cooking spray. You guys, of course, I do know I'm using beer, but that's after the cooking spray's burned off. So our skillet's already been preheated, so now I'm going to spray the non-stick cooking spray on here. There we go. You see how it's already turning dark? So now we have to go ahead and get this chili meat out as fast as we can. Do it with one hand. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. And I don't know why the camera turned off. There we go. We add that to the mix, press down on it. Make sure it's getting in there. There we go. It's all in there, nice and good. Go ahead and onions. Just a few. Onions in. Peppers in. Now what you have to remember, all we're doing is browning the meat. We're not doing anything more than that. So you get your fork or whatever utensil you want to use here, and just kind of mix all the onions in there and make sure the meat's all finely chopped. We're going to brown the meat, and then we're going to throw it in a crock pot along with all the beans and crushed tomatoes and salsa. So we're going to brown the meat. So you want the meat to brown evenly. And let's go ahead and pour that beer in here. That'll make it much better. I'm going to go ahead and get some beer. We pop open our beer. There we go. I don't know what the heck that was. Pour a little bit of beer in there. There we go. And some people, I've got a nice lid here. Pop the lid on it. Oh, I forgot to add my chili powder and garlic salt. I'll do that here in a minute. We'll let that meat simmer. It will get brown. We want it to just get brown, but we also get the air out of this bag here. We also want it to simmer. So let's grab our chili powder. We add chili powder to the mix. Make it nice and dark. Nice dark flavored chili powder. I guess I should have picked up more chili powder while I was at Walmart. A little bit of garlic salt. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want this tasting like Italian hamburger meat, do you? There you go. That's enough. And a little bit of Cajun seasoning. Just give it a little bit of that to it. You know what I'm saying? So we pour it in there. The Cajun seasoning. Take our fork once again. And we're going to mix it up in here. Just ever so slightly. As you can see, that meat's already starting to brown a little bit. So, there we go. Now, I'm not going to take you through the entire process. I'll just show you, like, I'll drop all the ingredients in. And I could tell you, this is the way I prep my meat. Everything else pretty much is coming from cans anyway. So, this is just how I sort of prep my meat. Maybe a little later you'll see me making my mac noodles. Well, actually spaghetti. I like to do spaghetti for my chili mac. Sometimes I'll do the mac noodles if I don't feel like cooking like a whole bunch of spaghetti or whatever. But yeah. There's that. And that is almost done. And I saved some onions here because I want to put some raw onion inside the actual chili mixture. Like when I start throwing all the ingredients together, I'll throw them in this crock pot, and that will cook. That will cook and it will simmer, and all the flavors will get there throughout the day for a couple of hours. And the longer it cooks, the better it tastes. And actually, with chili, if you let it refrigerate overnight and then reheat it, of course you want to reheat it back in the crock pot, not in the microwave or anything like that, but you reheat it, it actually tastes better. It's one of those things that the spices have had time to sort of work their way through the chili, and it actually tastes better. Basically, this meat's about ready, and it'll cook the rest of the way in the crock pot. So let me go ahead and get into my pantry here, and we'll get out the beans and all that good stuff, making room on my table. Check out my pantry. So here's what we're going to use for the chili. We've got 2 cans of kidney beans, 2 cans of chili beans, and 1 can of crushed tomato. I might use 2 cans, I don't know. So let's go ahead and, because that meat is nearly brown. Get some more cans here. There we go. This is going to be, I guarantee you, some awesome chili. And of course the salsa. You can't forget the salsa. Got some salsa here. Okay, salsa and a can of crushed tomatoes. All right. Now I'd like to do all of this in sort of a particular order. Yeah. And of course we're going to add more beer to the mix. Okay, let's lift our lid here. Basically, this is done. As you can see, it's already Actually, it's kind of past done here. You flip it around, and you want to make sure this is in. Yeah, this is done. This is absolutely excellent. Check it out, people. Heck yeah, check it out. All right, there, this is done. Now, some people will say, "Well, I cook my beans. I make fresh beans. I don't do canned beans." Yeah, well, screw you guys. All right, so that meat is nice and brown. We'll turn the stove off and we'll get our crock pot ready. Take this off the stove and it's basically set it there. Remove this and put my crock pot there. I'm going to let that cool. So through the magic of editing, you'll see my crock pot all sitting there all ready to go with all of these things open. So I'll see you then. We want to set the crock pot to high because we're just getting started. And the first thing you're going to want to do is drop your crushed tomatoes in there. There is a process. There's the crushed tomatoes. They look more pureed than they do crushed. Red kidney beans. Sometimes I go for the dark, but I went for the light red that time. Another can of light red kidney beans. Just drop it on in there. Now, before we add our chili beans, no wait, yeah. We want to go ahead and add our meat. We got to do this very carefully, decisively. There we go. We got all this good meat here. Just drop it in. Grease and all. Grease is the answer. It's always the answer. All right. Set this back over here. Right now, want to add we'll add these onions, the rest of them. Okay. And we want to add some salsa. Add our jar of salsa. Little jar. There we go. Look how thick and chunky that is. That's awesome. Of course, we're going to add some water to this jar just a little bit. There we go. And you're going to want to get every single ounce of goodness out of that jar. So put our lid on here and get that lid tight. Shake it up. I never thought about this. Maybe if I poured beer in there, it wouldn't get sort of watered down. Gotta use both hands. Smell of that. Okay, add that to it. And now we want to stir all of this. Our fork here and just kind of stir all that in there. Oh, look at the hot peppers just blending in with all of this. Why don't you? All right. Now, yes, sir, this is starting to look like chili. Okay. I'll add a can of chili beans, give it a little bit of that thickness. There we go. And we'll add some beer. Cut the thickness in half. There we go. A little bit of beer. And we'll add more chili powder to the mix. Right on top. There we go. Now you're going to want to stir that in. Get all that. Let it blend. Let it get well blended. Much like a drunk hobo. Anyway, there's that. Now, a little bit more Cajun seasoning on top. Put that spice away, I do believe. Okay. A little bit more beer. Okay. There we go. One more can of chili beans. go. All right, we want to stir that in really good. I'm going to stir that in. Now I have something here in my fridge that you guys don't have at home that I'm going to add to it. But since you guys don't have it at home, it's really not fair for me to use it. And I want to show you real quick. My friend John Burke, who makes his own hot sauce. I'm going to add a little bit of this John Burke hot sauce. So let's go ahead and we'll add just a little bit of that. Smell it. Hold on. Add just a little bit. Okay. That'll give it a little bit of kick, a little bit more kick than the hot peppers. And a little bit more beer. Okay, there we go. And a little bit more chili powder. Mix it real good. Now you want to make sure that this is mixed real good. I mean real good. And this is going to cook like a fine pasta sauce for a couple hours. The meat, that will allow that meat to get completely done. And keep that on high for as long as you can, and then I will of course come back later and turn it down to warm. So there you have it. I got rid of the beanie hat, by the way. There's chili cooked slowly, chili cooked the right way, whatever you want to call it. Now, you guys at home should have pretty much all the ingredients you're going to need. You can buy every single ingredient in the store, including the beer, which I will add a little bit more beer later as soon as everything's sort of colluded into each other. Now, the John Burke hot sauce, I guess the equivalent of that, since you guys at home most likely do not have John Burke hot sauce, is you want to get you some tiger sauce and a little bit of sriracha sauce, which I do have sriracha sauce. I don't have the tiger sauce, but I usually do add those two things. And of course you're going to want all of those peppers, the habanero peppers and the jalapeno peppers and the chili peppers. Those are all stuff that I grew in my garden this year, and I chopped them up and I froze them. But it's certainly not hard to find in stores. But anyway, that's it for my cooking video. I hope this inspires other cooking videos as well. And until next time, this is Hebro77 saying, I'll see you in the next. Good night, everybody. Why did I laugh like that? That's just nuts, dude.